already in. Commissioner uh, Eddie Howe, the Assistant Commissioner for Government and Non-for-Profit Division at the LRA. Commissioner Howe, good morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, and today we will be looking at the enforcement of school registration, submission of tax clearance certificate, and operational permit for candidate WIAC registration. This is a broader topic. What are we talking about from the angle of the LRA?
So, as we all are aware that in Liberia, the Liberia Revenue Authority has that responsibility to control, collect taxes. And in the collection of our taxes, we collect non-tax revenue and tax revenues. And the non-tax revenue has to do with the fees, vehicle registration, school permit. So even those ministries and agencies that are do have those statutory rights to collect those fees, the LRA has that oversight, to ensure that there are processes and procedures into place, and those revenues should be collected. So on that backdrop, we started enforcement with the schools, and over the years we've observed that schools operating in this country for 20, 30 years were paying taxes. So we have been engaging on an individual basis, that is the LRA. We'll go there, Ministry of Education will go there, and then why as well. So we thought it was what the period said, why can't we just consolidate our efforts and to avoid subjecting the schools to engagement fatigue. So we signed an MOU wherein now we work together. Because we have the same denominator, which is the educational sector. Yeah, so that's the reason why we established our MOU, to be able to serve the educational sector with ease and to also help us reduce the compliance cost.
And how has that been going?
So we've started initially with being proactive, where we've engaged schools, because the thing is, taxes, we have the self-assessment regime where taxpayers themselves declare their tax liability. So to ensure that process work, our taxpayers first have to know their responsibilities, because how can you pay for something that you are not aware of? So we've been engaging schools through the DEOs, where
to raise their awareness.
The awareness, definitely, because there have been this phenomenon where schools operators and administrators just thought that school shouldn't pay taxes. And when we say school is exempt, it's the enterprise, the school itself, but not the individuals that work there. So if you have teachers that are working, teaching, and then the school administrators, they have to pay taxes. But the school is exempt, but not the individuals. So schools have been operational without deducting from the teacher's salary, the payroll tax, and remitting that to the LRA. And this collaboration has helped over the period, because we started this like 3 years. And you won't believe the result has been so amazing. Yeah.
Okay. So even though this is a joint collaboration thing, what's the LRA role? What's the YS role? And what's the MOE's role?
So MOE is actually responsible to give the school permit.
Okay.
So every business, first, the legal basis, is to have a business registration certificate. Upon obtaining that, then if you want to operate in a sector, that sector, the agency or ministry that have that oversight will grant you the permit. So Ministry of Education does that when it comes to the educational sector. So they will, they have their own processes, where the process starts with the DEO, where the schools have to, administrators have to submit the teacher's payroll or 5-year plan. And there are some other facilities that are supposed to be there prior to the opening of the school. So when the school administrator meets all of those basic requirements, then they are issued a permit.
Okay.
Ministry of Education actually bill you, then you come to the LRA to do the payment. LRA issues the receipt. Upon issuing of the receipt, then the LRA start to engage you. Hey, you need to start remitting taxes for your teachers.
Okay.
And when you also are renting the building that houses the school, the law requires that when you pay rental fees up to 70,000 Liberian annually, for each payment, you have to withhold 10%. And the essence is to proactively secure this revenue as source. Because there is risks when these revenues are these payments are made to the immediate beneficiaries. They are risks. They may not want to remit, right? So that onus is on the payer as per the law. You have to take what is for government and remit it to the LRA. Then wire comes into the picture. Okay, my colleague is here, so you talk extensively on the educational side.
So basically, enforcement is with you, LRA.
So it is a tripartite arrangement.
Okay.
So we work together collectively. So usually when we going onto the field, we come up with the concept notes and have teams. And each team is a composition, one MOE, one LRA, and one Y. So when we go on to the field and we have our targets also to be able to establish. Yeah.
Yeah. Maxime?
Hey, my man, yeah, my man, I came from somewhere, and I want to thank you so much for your professionalism and how brilliant you are. You're always coordinating and making sure to represent the state radio professionally, so we really appreciate you. And to Mr. Howe, too, thank you so much for incorporating us in your wonderful plan to be disseminating accurate and factual information to our people. From the Ministry of Education side, I'm J. Maxim Litton, as you are aware. I'm the Director of Communications at the Ministry of Education, Republic of Liberia, West Africa, and we are in collaboration with our LRA and WAEC to make sure that we have a one-shot. At the Ministry of Education, if you want to establish a school in this country, you have to send letter of intent to the DO office. The DO will send people on the field for assessment. After the assessment, write a letter, send it to the CEO. CEO also send people on the field for verification and validation. Okay. And when that place is conducive for learning environment, then of course they will send it back, and then the CEO and the DO will now bill you.
Okay.
They bill you if the school is elementary, early childhood, junior high, or secondary, senior high. They will now bill you, and you will go to LRA to do your payment. So when you reach to LRA, they will ask you all these questions. Then you'll be able to validate and verify your documentation. Then you make payment at LRA. And you take your receipt to the Ministry of Education, and then we serve you a certificate. Where you are not lucky or fortunate to receive a certificate at the time, the receipt from LRA can also validate that you are a genuine school that is recognized and accredited by the Ministry of Education in the Republic of Liberia. Now, you know what Wire function? Wire is standing like a policeman. Wire will verify your document, whether you are in compliance with the protocols from the Ministry of Education and LRA, then why people will say, okay, we accept you on our platform. But when you are not in accordance with Ministry of Education, LRA, no. Your children cannot participate in this wire or wax. Okay. So that's why wire stays. So wire is very important because they stay as a policeman. It's just like you don't have driving lesson and you want to drive in the Republic of Liberia, the policeman can arrest you and lock you down. So you can be able to go and verify that. So this is the area Ministry of Education is doing. And we are charging per your tuition you charge, not per school. Maybe you are operating elementary school, but you're charging $2,000. Okay. One of the $2,000 that you're charging per student is what you will pay for your operation of permit fee at LRA.
Okay, let's hear from Mr. Duke Buto, the head of WAEC. Welcome, good morning.
Thank you, and let me use this time to wish you and your many listeners a happy and prosperous 2023. Thank you for affording us the opportunity to use a platform to educate and enlighten the public about what is happening. As has already been highlighted, WAEC, MOE, and LRA have what we call an MOU, and we are at the tail end. We are there to enforce and know that schools will be coming to do the SM. We have 4 SMs that will now administer in Liberia. We have the SM for the 3rd graders, the SM for the 6th graders, and the SM for 9th and 12th graders. So any school that will be presenting Kennedy for these examinations must be in full compliance. Now, according to our regulations, for a school to present candidates, that school must be in good standing with the government of that member country. And what constitutes good standing? For us, what constitutes good standing is that firstly, that school should be recognized. And how can we determine that that school has been recognized? That school is considered to be recognized if that school has a current operational permit from the Ministry of Education, as well as the tax clearance from the Liberia Revenue Authority that that school is in compliance with the Revenue Code of the Republic of Liberia. So if a school does not have either the operational permit or the tax clearance, we are calling on such school to proceed to the appropriate authorities, either the Ministry of Education or the NRA, to ensure that they regularize the statuses, because if they don't do that, their students will not be allowed to do these exams that will be administered in 2023.
Okay. Okay. Now, in this enforcement of this permit issue, Commissioner, what's the process?
So the process, as my colleague highlighted,
The basic
first,
concept of the enforcement exercise.
is to bring taxpayer to compliance, right? I mean, have it on one shot.
Okay.
So instead of the NRA doing individually and the MOE doing individually, we thought by working together and collaboratively, and we will be able to reduce compliance costs. It will give us a wider platform, right, to reach out to the taxpayers. So as you said, after the business registration, you obtain your credit, your accreditation from MOE, then you come to the NRA, because every taxpayer has some obligations and responsibilities. And for the educational sector, which is considered as the charity sector, they are not required to file corporate income taxes, but they also have filing responsibilities when it comes to their employee salaries and rental withholdings. So if you pay your teachers every month, you have to deduct that tax and remit it to the NRA. First, you have to file a tax return every month. So at the end of the month, every month tax return is due in not later than the 10th of the succeeding month. So once you meet those minimal requirements, filing of a tax return and making the payment, the return is like a self-declaration. You are certain or say, hey, this is how much I owe the government of Liberia. But mind you, NRA to have that responsibility to determine subsequently whether that amount is adequate. But at the time of filing, we just gave you the platform. And what we've done at the NRA to make sure these processes work and become seamless, we've automated our systems where now you can sit in the comfort of your office and file a tax return online. So doing one of our enforcement exercises, we've come to realize that there are schools that are operational and don't have computers. Okay. So we've established 2 desktops at the government not-for-profit, just to make the process easy. If you don't have a computer, come stay here at the NRA, and every month we'll give you the desktops and just with your application and make your payment. So sometimes people tend to shy away from the process because they just think NRA is so hard. But I can tell you, the processes are so easy. When you come at the NRA, even you owe us $10, we tell you, say, hey, if you can, and sincerely to us that you cannot afford that $10 right now, we can allow you to pay $2.50, and that's $7.50 we establish what we call a PPA, payment plan agreement, that upon discussion and agreement with you and the NRA, we can come over for time and say, hey, every month I will pay $1 of the $7.50 just to afford you that flexibility. So I mean the processes, I see no reason why people shying away from the processes. They are so transparent and easy.
Martin, we're talking about awareness before the enforcement of this exercise.
Yeah.
How rigorous was the awareness of the schools?
Now, let me tell you something. The Ministry of Education, in line with LRA and WIAC, we've been working 24/7. Even on Sundays, yeah, Mr. Dioboto, we are on this platform to inform the people. Except the listening audience will tell us they have refused deliberately to execute or implement what they've been hearing from us. The first thing is compliance. I mean, this is so simple. Every country develop because the people are responsible to the nation. You pay tax and you have the government functional. You don't live in a nation and refuse to be in compliance with government protocols. If you go in the state, even you buy a peanut, you pay tax. A phone, you pay tax. So if you come in a country and operate in a school and refuse to have your operational permit renewed or active, that means you are defying government. How do you expect the government to pay civil servant, to pave the road, to build new schools, and to be in compliance with other social responsibilities? You are making the government to be handicapped. So we are saying, with this ideology on board, that is so sophisticated and professional, we embrace it 100% so that we can coordinate, professionally. If you owe government certain amount, you come to LRA. They're not telling you they're going to close down your business. No. Or they're going to close down your school. No. There's a payment plan. You yourself, the school administrator, you have a payment plan. If you owe $10 and you pay $2 and say the balance $8 or pay $1, LRA will not tell you no. This is why they have additional desktop, instituted at their offices so that you can be able to do your work. And let me be quick to jump in this, Varflay. This morning, something happened. And I want to say this because we're on the platform. There are people who are impersonating in this country that are from Wire office. That Wire is collecting calculator fees. I just called you, when I have I call you, right? They are going from school to school collecting money, saying that Wire send them to collect calculator fees. Public, Dioboto is here. Dioboto have not given anybody any letter or any authority to collect extra fees for calculator. The fees for calculator for ninth grader is in your 5,000. That 5,000 that you pay for wire fees, your calculator fee is part of that 5,000. So no one should tell you, beside the 5,000, you're paying additional money for calculator fees. That's wrong, that's criminal, that's unacceptable. We want to make this very clear. When the parents call me and the school authority call me, I was going to call Mr. Dioboto and he can attest to it. Nobody, people should stop impersonating. So thank God that today us here. If we're sending people on the field now, like LRA will be sending people on the field, you will have letter
of assignment,
letter of assignment, or you will have a jacket, so that people will know where you're from. If you're from Ministry of Education, we already have a jacket called school inspection. And while I advise that you people do similar thing before people start exploiting people, saying that Dioboto sent me to collect calculator fees, that is unacceptable. No calculator fees. The fees for private school navigator is 5,000 and processing fee is $150 LD, nothing more, nothing less. If you are going above this, parents, please call 1416 or 0777212197. We need to work together. Liberians, we are resilient people. Let us weed out these people from our society.
Mr. Boto, you want to?
Yes, okay, so thank you. And let me just start from where please and stop. Firstly, we don't send individuals in the field to collect money on behalf of WAEC. WAEC is a reputable institution, and all of our monies are paid through the banking institutions. Because according to our protocols, we have to be audited both internally and externally. So if we start collecting money using individuals, then obviously when we are audited, we will be called to book. So we don't do that. So anyone who goes off there to say they have gone to collect money on behalf of WAEC, like person is a foster, and I want to call on the public to either call the authorities at WAEC or call the Ministry of Education, and we'll be swift in taking the appropriate action. Secondly, Bleeding has already spoken about the fees. All of our fees are consolidated. So whether we want for you to use it to check your results when the results are released, or whether we want for you to use it for the purpose of mathematical set, we build everything in a fee that we just charge. And once that fee is paid, you don't have to pay any other cent to WAEC. So whenever you hear people telling you pay this amount of money, after you have paid your registration fee, you should know that you are just trying to enrich an individual because that money is not going to come to WAEC. So please, I'm calling on the public, and I want to appreciate some patriotic citizens who have been calling.
Yes.
I'm aware of one parents who called me and they told me, oh, look, this school is charging $9,000 for the 9th grade exam. I asked them, do you have evidence? And they sent the information that the school sent to them. And we took that information to the school and they could not deny it. And we told them, you have to reform. If you have received 9,000 from the students with times why will you go and charge almost twice the amount that WAEC is charging? Some schools, sixth graders are to pay 2,150. Some schools are charging up to 6,000 for sixth graders. Third graders are paying 1,150. Some schools are charging up to 5,000 for third graders. And for me, it doesn't make sense. And also, thank you for bringing up that issue. And we are calling on the public, and especially the parents, because they are the one who pay this amount. So when they receive this information from the school, all they need to do to help us, and for us to help them too, is to alert us, and we are going to take the appropriate action. But again,
with regards to the tax clearance certificate and operational permit,
yes,
where do you get, because you have to verify the names, right? The documents either from MOE
yes,
or LRA.
So what happening now is we started sharing information or data.
Okay.
So MOE sends us a listing to say these are the schools within this particular region that have met the benchmark or that have obtained the operational permit. Similarly, LRA recently sent us a listing of 18 schools that were finding it difficult, to deal with. They consider them high-risk schools. We wrote those schools. And let me just say here, and I want to be placed on record. If you want a deposited money in WAEC account, any of the WAEC accounts, that is not a guarantee that your students are going to take the test. We notify the schools that, look, before you can deposit any money into our account, please make sure that you have your operational permit and you have your tax clearance.
So even if you remit, you're not in good standing with your clearance?
Yes, your candidates are not going to take the test. The candidates are not going to take a test. What we're doing...
But is the money refundable?
We can discuss that one later. What happened is that, obviously, if they're not taking...
Fail to follow instruction at FFR.
Yes. What happened is that we have so many layers. For now, we are winding down the registration. So the school have that leverage to go and regularize the statuses in terms of operational permit, being current with the operational permit, or being current with the tax payment as well. If they don't do that after the registration closes, what we're going to do is we'll send the names of all the schools that have come in for this SM or these SMs to both MOE and LRA. Because what happened, at the time the schools were coming at first, we never had the app to verify the TCC, the tax clearance certificate. So for now we have the app. But at times you can be overwhelmed because this Liberian mentality. Everybody waits for the 11 hours before they come. So when we are overwhelmed, it is possible that some people may slip through and will not be able to verify. So this is why we'll forward the names to the other parties so that they can confirm that indeed these schools are in good standing. If we are notified that these schools are defaulting or they're not in full compliance, they don't have the current operational permit, and they don't have the tax clearance, then what we're going to do is we'll not issue the RD slips. So between the time the registration will close and the time we'll be issuing the RD slips, we will use that time to engage defaulting schools because we don't want problem. It is better to be proactive. This is an election year, and we don't want time for the SM. Then we say, school A, school B, school C should not take a test, and then people take another proportion, and they start politicizing because this country is politically charged. Every small thing
like politics.
So we want to take politics out of education. So this is why we are going to be proactive, and I want to commend the authorities at LRA for being so proactive in engaging the stakeholders. So we'll engage them up to that point. If they are still not in compliance, then we'll take the next course of action, but I will not disclose what we will do now.
Martin, what are the category of schools?
Now, you have the early childhood, you have the pre-primary, you also have the lower basic, upper basic, and you have the secondary senior high school. Now, these category of schools, you have permit at certain time. For example, before you are accredited or recognized by the Ministry of Education, your operational permit must be active. For example, the operational permit, they are renewable.
Okay.
If you operate in the early childhood and you got the operational permit for the early childhood, if you extend your school to primary, you must go for an operational permit that will permit you to operate a primary school. Okay, early child, you know that ABC or the K2. You understand? From first grade to sixth grade, that primary school. Understand? That's elementary school there. So if you are operating an early childhood, you want to move from early childhood to elementary school, there's different operational permit in that direction. If you want to extend to junior high school, there are different operational permit. So you can't be operating elementary school, then you say you're depending on our operational permit to operate a junior high school. No. No, it's not acceptable. So if you want to operate for your children to go and sit for the NAWAY, which is now compulsory and mandatory by the Ministry of Education, you must be in compliance to renew your permit, not renew, to have another permit that will allow you to operate at that level. If you stay operating elementary, if the academic year is over, you must renew it. Your operational permit must be renewed, must be active. Now, when you operate in junior high school and you want to extend to senior high school, that different operational permit. So you have to apply for that level. So not because you got the operational permit for junior high school, you relax, then you're going to senior high. No, it is not acceptable. At that level, it was junior high. Now you go into senior high. You must apply for the senior high operational permit, and you got a fees to pay. So we want people to understand. So you can't say, I got elementary operational permit, so I rely on it. No. When you have it for this year and next academic year, you want to operate another level, you apply for that level. But if you stay to your level, every child you operate this academic year, next academic year you want to stay operate, you must renew, and that's a fee.
So you renew every year?
Academic year.
Okay.
It's renewable every academic year. So you can't say I did it last year, so I finished. No. That last year you did it, it was only for that last year academic year. When that last year academic year expired, now you have to renew your operational permit to allow you now to be part and parcel of our functioning schools in the Republic of Liberia.
So let's know the steps, the various steps, to getting the permit.
Now, I just explained to me when I came in. Before you establish school in this republic, you must send letter of intent to the DO. I want to establish a school. That will be on file.
Okay.
After that, you take the photo of the school, front and back, and send it to the DO office on file. You write or you give us the listing of your teachers along with their credentials that will be teaching in that school.
So that means we finish constructing the school, everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, because our people need to go there and do a survey, assessment, whether that area is conducive for learning environment. Okay. You can't just go anywhere and build school anywhere, because we got a design at the Ministry of Education. When you want to build school, we'll give you that design. Because we remember in past years, some politicians, they will go on the running campaign, they will say, I will build school. Then they put more somewhere. After 1-2 years, it broken down. Then they say the government school is broken down. They will go in the community and just fool the people. So we want Liberians to open your eyes. People coming to you, tell them, where's the blueprint from the Ministry of Education? That we got engineers that will escort people that will build a school. That's why you see the schools we're building all over the country, they are standardized. They're not just any kind of school. So those schools, they are escorted with a personnel from the Ministry of Education with a design. We can give it to the community head, the community leader, and then you can photocopy it, it be your property. So in case of anything tomorrow, when you want to renew any commitment, you bring that copy, then we can also talk to the government to give you support. But not a politician being in a school, then later after 5-6 months, it start breaking as part. Then you say, oh, the government, the school that in our community is broken down. Then you say, oh, the government not supporting the school. All the teachers in the place were volunteering. No. We're not like that crap thing anymore. Anything you do now must be standardized, it must be professional, it must be up to the task. So when you get operational permit for a certain level of school, when that academic year finish, you got to renew it. Or you want to extend to another level, you get to apply for another one.
Commissioner, what happens to schools who are in violation of this regulation?
So the first thing is we still trying the hardest to make sure everybody's brought to compliant. And that's why our compliance program, taxpayer risk is being color coded. So we got taxpayers that are fully compliant, coded green. Those ones that are making stripes, yellow, and those ones that are not making any attempt red. So we don't want to wait until it reaches a point where we have to come up with other measures. So we're being proactive, like what we're doing here now, and still going out there to meet those schools. Our intent is to ensure that everybody becomes voluntarily compliant. So at the end of the exercise, and if it is established, you still remain non-compliant. Under the law, the LRA has that responsibility to do what we call an assessment, estimated assessment. We can look at the history of your payroll, or even if you have not filed a payroll, we can use your immediate competitor and make some form of determination, and you have to pay. And under the law, once we serve you that bill, you have the 30 days to protest. If you don't, it becomes final. And if you don't pay it yet, we still carry to court. And right now, also, we have this measure where once you don't, continue or you are not compliant, definitely your students will not be allowed to register for a while. Just imagine what would be the outcry from the parent, after paying all that money for your kids, and then at the end they don't get to, meet the requirement to register at while. Yeah.
Is this exercise only in Moserado County or across?
This exercise is holistic. It's nationwide.
Okay.
Because you got school all the way in Madiaple. You got school all the way in Sano, in Beninkole. So those schools that are operating in those areas must be in compliance with the government, especially under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Education. So if you have school way in Nimba, in Lofa, in Sano, and you're thinking that we will not reach you, you lie. Because you know what? We got DOs at Sunday. We got CEO of that county that is in compliance with the protocols from the Ministry of Education and LRA. There's a joint version ever since. So we've been in compliance. So it's nationwide. If you operate in school anywhere, any part of this country, you need to be in full compliance with the Ministry of Education, LRA, and YA. Because those children that you are molding their minds, they are the future leaders. They're the one who take the mantle of authority and steer the affairs of the state. So we need to be professional and holistic.
Okay. Mr. Goto, how are you, communicating with the schools, especially when it comes to the WIAC aspect?
Okay, so currently on our platform, all schools have a valid email that we use to communicate with them directly. So like when it comes to the mode of registration, when we're going to give the exam, how much will be paid, and so forth, we communicate with them electronically. But there are times that we serve them hard copies of such communications because we want for them to be placed on records. We don't want to have a situation for somebody to tell us that, oh, I did not check my email and so forth. Because, when people want to touch or evade certain responsibilities, then they will come up with all sorts of excuses. So, but our main mode of communicating with them is through emails and text messages. At times, we follow the text messages with calls. If we see that you are not if you are not adhering to what is expected of you, we take the phone because we have the contact numbers for all schools that come into to our extent, because if a school went to the Ministry of Education, to the TEO's office, and for the TEO to communicate with us, the TEO has to take the name of the principal, the name of the vice principal, the name of the administrators with their contact details, and forward sent to us. So we use those details to contact the schools.
Okay. And I'm just thinking, how, because you're now waiting for violators to come to you, you have to be shining the light on these violators. How do you know that this school does not have a certificate, and how do you monitor schools to weed out violators?
So, if you listening earlier, I indicated that we have taxpayer placed in categories. So, for the fact that every data at the LRA is centralized, whether it's what school permit, vehicle registration, even your passport you pay for, we have those information within our system, because all of those ministries and agencies want to give you the bill. You come to the LRA to effect the payment. So we have almost like what we call account managers. So those account managers, they are called AAA at the LRA. They manage taxpayers' individual accounts. So every compliance officer on a daily basis, they have that responsibility to go into the system to perform what we call trend analysis and also comparative analysis to make sure where there are gaps. If the taxpayer is not filing consistently, we know that. And then at the end of the day, we'll come up with the report. It informs our engagement with schools. So before we come to you, right, we didn't just come to you with any information. The records were sure. So if you didn't have a school permit, my assistant either will tell me. Then we send people out there. In addition to what we're doing here, we're also individually engaged in. Because our strive is to make sure everybody comes to voluntary compliance. It makes it easier instead of going out there chasing after people. So we want everybody to come forward, and we can always provide that platform where we can, there are rooms for or options for making progress. There's something I want to also highlight on the tax clearance, because there might be somebody up there who may not have the idea as to what is a tax clearance certificate. It's a document that is issued by the LRA, and at the point of issuance, it does not mean that you are totally compliant. Because to be totally compliant, we must have conducted an audit, right? So at the time you have made, you file and pay, and we give you that certificate, probably depending on your level of compliance, we can give you a provisional 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days, depending on your level of compliance. So there is absolutely no way you will engage us at the LRA and we don't give you tax clearance certificate. Just make the effort. Make the effort. And we're not hinder your processes with WIAC and MOE. Just come forward. The later amount you can afford, we can sit and discuss, and we issue the tax clearance just to continue your process, with the view that going forward, you'll be able to pay whatever amount, is outstanding. Yeah.
Okay. So, in addition to what Mr. Howard just stated, we want to call on all responsible parents in the Republic of Liberia. When you go to do your registration, please ask the school administration or administrator, where is your active operational permit? Because it's supposed to be on their bulletin. It's supposed to be posted on their bulletin or in the registrar office or in the office of the accountant. When you dare to pay your fees, please ask them. There's nothing wrong with a responsible person asking, I want to see your school operational permit, because I don't want to send my children to a school that time will come tomorrow, they will be denied to take wire or wax. Parents, you are suffering. You are going up and down looking for money. You can't give money to school that is not in compliance with the government of Liberia, precisely LRA, Ministry of Education, and why. It is not good for you. And when your children go to that school and last minute of time, and then they start struggling, then you have to blame yourself. From the initial time you went to do your registration, you could have asked, where is your operational permit? And when you ask for that operational permit, it should represent the grade level and the year. In that way, then you proceed to do your registration. When you, the parents, help us in that direction, all the schools in the Republic will be in full compliance. That is another way of forcing school administrators to be in compliance with these protocols.
Mr. Bodo, so it means that LRA is the institution that rings the alarm bell.
Yeah, if you look
And
at
the
the
German
compliance
Shepherd,
program, yeah,
they are
definitely
the German Shepherd.
Yeah. Because
Then the wire is the policeman. Then we are the policy people there, because we charge your school. We know the one level. In our elementary, we say like elementary, and we go see how much you pay. Then this is what you're supposed to pay to LRA. Then you go there, they do due diligence. Then LRA will give you the receipt, because they are the job. When the people now shout, they will not give that thing, we will not give you up the certificate. So to do that, and this is what just dashed in my spirit. If all of us, even if you self-supported, ask the school people, even the student in the school, you can ask the school administrator, Prof, or Mr. Principal, or Registrar, we want to know whether the school area in compliance with the Ministry of Education. Where is your renewed or active operational permit? You're not in Sodo, you're being wise because you're learning. So you are now following the protocols of government, because tomorrow some of you will be working in government too. Then the government that you'll be working in, it will be productive, it will be professional, it will be good.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to appreciate the LRA and MOE for this exercise. And let me also use this time to commend the school authorities, because a good number of the school authorities are in compliance. So I want to appreciate them, that they are just demonstrating that they are patriotic citizens. What the lesson I have learned from this exercise is that it appears to us like over the years some schools are operating with operational permit. Because if you can see in 2023, some schools that have been in a system for lack of ages, let me put it like that, are still having it difficult to obtain current operational permit. Then you can easily conclude that they have not been operating on the permit from the Ministry of Education. So again, I want to appreciate them, because the school, when it comes to the aspect of the operational permit, the schools are following through. Where the challenge seems to be is with the tax clearance. Most of the schools that come to our office come with the
Operational permit.
the receipt for LRA for the operational permit.
Okay.
And once they obtain that receipt, they think that's all. So we've been telling them, look, the receipt that you brought to us is for your operational permit, and it's not the tax clearance certificate. So I want to use this platform to call on school authorities who have now filed in with the LRA to do such, because the window of opportunity they have to do such is narrowing, is closing. Yes, and we don't want for the students, the innocent students, I consider the students to be innocent because they don't have any idea about what the school authorities are doing, for which they may be denied. We don't want for those kids to be victimized. So we are calling on school authorities who may have obtained their operational permit, but have yet to obtain their tax clearance certificate to proceed to the LRA. The process, as he highlighted, is not that stressful, or it's not that tedious.
It's so relaxed.
It's just that maybe people a lack of knowledge. And the Bible says lack
People
of knowledge
perish.
makes people to perish. So it is because of the lack of knowledge. But if some of them could just know the amount they will be paying, some of these taxes that LRA is requesting schools to pay, some of the taxes not even reach up to 10,000. But they don't know. Some may not even be up to 5,000. But because of lack of knowledge, they're thinking that, maybe we'll have to carry 100,000 to the LRA. So they are jittering here and there, and they think that they have a whole, that's a huge burden for them. So I'm calling on them to take advantage of the engagement that we along with the LRA are carrying out, so that they can be in full compliance, so that those kids at the end of the day will not be victimized.
So just to buttress what he was saying, right? In addition to people, some schools not having the knowledge, and generally people just afraid of the LRA for no reason. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Okay, German Shepherd.
The moment you send a letter to a business entity, people just How about that
Yeah.
fear? So that's why we're on the air and we engaging taxpayers. Please do not be afraid of NRA. We just do a piece of job for government to collect. And in the collection process, once you are willing to cooperate with us, there are processes you can take advantage of. Like the PPE, I talk about the payment plan. We will not force you to pay what you can pay. We'll always come to an agreement, a term, just to release that stress. And quite recently, there's a lady from another school that came to at the LRA. All the time, she just said, some thousands of dollars. To only get to know that just 600 and some more dollars, Liberian dollars. She said,
You see
so
that?
see the
Oh,
way
so
people
black
been
American-
fooling me all the time, right? So, she just went, hurried and paid that money, and we issue her tax clearance. So just come forward. Don't just sit and hold the belief that LRA will not listen to you. No, we will. We will. Even if somebody owe you $1 million, you went to the court, there will still be, some form of
Settlement.
agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just come forward. Our doors are open.
Okay.
And for the tax clearing processes, you can just go to our website, www.lra.gov.lr, and once it pop, I'll click on that, and then you see e-tax clearance, or better yet, you can download that from the Google Store, the e-tax clearance, and you can sit at your office, do the application, and send it to the LRA. without even
Now,
coming
you
there.
see, Varflay, you know what fooling some people? They got middlemen. And the middlemen not telling the people the truth. They say, the men say that they think will pay to LRA. Try one day.
I know.
You yourself go to LRA. Maybe you're not even paying up to 1,000 LD.
Yeah.
But someone is telling you it's 5,000.
Some
Someone is
people-
telling you it's 40,000.
some people
Someone is
just
telling you
believe-
30,000. And that middleman is getting rich out of you. Yeah, your whole estate. And you asking right now, he will tell you how much for estate. It's very simple. But yeah,
simple.
but you got a middleman who you depend on and you trust so much. Look at that person they were telling me about this morning. The person is our middleman, the man working between us and Wire. Wire told him that we'll pay calculator fees, so we gain the money to go pay for us. What wrong with you? You not go to school? Wire office that Gina? You get alligator on your room?
No black snake.
So, no black snake there. So when people start getting middlemen, and the middlemen using the institution to get rich out of the institution, then they start adding additional fees that is not part of the institution. So please make sure, at least one of these days, put all your business share you one side, and you will be surprised that person is stealing from you. I'm telling you, not everybody doing it, but some people, they are just wicked. When they are middlemen, even if you go to the transport, some people will get your money,
Yeah.
it's at 150, they will say 250.
Yeah.
Just for them to get additional $100. They say that processing this, that for the man who will do the work, but government is paying you.
When in fact you just need to
Understand?
maintain your patience,
You see?
and you don't have to pay
You
nobody.
don't have to pay anybody. So you
Ah.
pay additional $50 US for nothing. So this morning I got that experience and I was shocked. I remained on the spot and I called Dear Bodo. I said, Dear Bodo, y'all get people in the field now collecting calculator fees? Dear Bodo said no. And I put the phone on speaker. And the school preparing and the registrar were astonished. Said, wow. But then this guy been stealing from us. I said, you gotta bring the guys to book. We got to name and shame some people. This is unprofessional, ungodly, it's satanic, it's unacceptable, unprofessional, unethical, it's demonic. You won't do this to people in this country. When people are striving.
That's simply it.
Yeah, it's not called for.
Let's try to interact with the
Yeah.
listeners.
So let's stop that. If you
Yeah.
want to help somebody, be genuine.
Call us on 0800514 096, 0800514 or 0770581886. And be live on ELBC, the Super Morning Show this morning. Call us on 080514096, 0770581886. Let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This is Deacon Moses. We were calling from the Queens Rebel.
Let's hear.
Something I really want to know.
Mhm.
How much the sixth grader are paying for the wire fee?
How much? 6th graders?
2,000,
Yes,
$2,150.
Liberian dollars or Liberian dollars.
$2,150 Liberian dollars. Point.
okay, so I know I can get can you read a number?
0777 21 21 97 0777 21 97. You can text me
97.
any school that is overcharging. We will move there and they refund your balance money immediately.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's hear from this person. Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to find out from the guests there whether they have anything you call the parliamentary ID card fees.
Biometric ID card fee for schools?
Yeah. My daughter attended St. Joseph School in Mount Bakri here, and I paid 6,000 for the wire fee, and then they requested for another 1,000 for biometric ID card. They said that wire requesting it for it.
Which class is a daughter in?
Which class your daughter in?
Ninth grade. Mount Bakri Community School, we call it Mocha. St. Joseph School.
Okay. Thank you. You. I think you need to respond to this.
Okay, so now graders are officially have to pay 5,000, and that 5,000 will come to WIAC and 150 for the processing fee. So they will be paying 5,150 librarian hours. And I don't know why they took that amount to 6,000. But if you look in the Ministry of Education official academic calendar,
Page
all
20 and
schools
21.
have the fees are listed there.
So they don't want to be in compliance. Some school administrators are very bad.
WIAC does not know anything about biometric ID card fee.
No, we don't do that.
You see,
We have not introduced biometric on the SM.
so I have plenty on your heel.
Let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. What's the name?
Yeah. James Brown. Calling on the interview.
Yeah. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to get you a million concerning the recent private candidate one of the short camera.
Okay. Thank you.
When the result?
Let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to know how many tag we are paying for YFP tag grade.
Okay.
$1,150 LD.
You see?
$1,150 LD.
1,150
LD.
LD
That all.
at third grade, and there is nothing in from WIAC called the biometric ID in these schools.
I know. What kind of strategy the people using to just be, exploiting people
Good
so?
morning.
Good morning.
Morning. What's the name?
This is Mr. Benene Ezra speaking from Bartown, Monrovia.
Yeah. Let's hear you.
Good morning, Arroboto.
Morning, Benende.
Okay. Our Britain, good morning as well.
Good morning.
Okay,
No, we got to call you LRA, Mr. Howard.
Mr.
Call Mr. Howard.
Probably he doesn't have problem with LRA.
LRA, man. Okay, sorry. LRA personnel, good morning also.
Good morning.
Okay. I want to firstly extend my many thanks and appreciation to the Oboto, who is the wire officer there, subject contract
Wire
officer.
head.
And he made a good point by concerning this education, our education system, how to go about doing things. It is true that so many of our schools here in Liberia don't know how to go about this permit issue. Even LIA is a new thing now to some institution in Liberia. And so it is important that we all serve our country in so many ways. And if all we want for our country, our nation, Liberia to be improved, to be developed, I think we have to face the fact that we should do something to improve our country by paying these small taxes and then go to the LRA or staff who are educated. Some of us don't know these things, and we want to well and educate well on it. And also thanks to our Britain who always on the air educating us. So
Okay.
you put me my day, man. Thank you,
Thank you.
gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So we'll hold a course there and listen to you concerning the concerns. Let's start with the WIAC boss.
So let me start with the fees, because more people are concerned about the fees. Third graders have to pay 1,150. The 1,000 will go to WIAC, and the 150 will come to will be with the school. Sixth graders have to pay 2,150, 2,000 goes to WAEC, and 1,150 is with the school. Ninth graders have to pay 5,150. Similarly, 5,000 goes to WAEC. And the 12th graders I have to pay anything because the government pays. So the only thing the 12th graders have to pay is 150 librarian hours. But interestingly, some schools are charging 30, between 30 to 75 US for the 12th graders to pay. And for some of us, we are so confused. We don't understand why they will charge, because they place the public under the impression that the government is not paying.
Yeah, some schools.
Now, whether the government pays or not, it's not a responsibility. The government has written us and told us that, look, we will take care of this aspect. So it is between us and the government. We have not gone to the school to ask them. The next thing is that we are not charging any additional amount for any other fee, be it mathematical set, be it for processing, be it for, how you call it?
National identification.
We're not asking them to get a special article either, whether biometric or ordinary or digital article. We're not asking the students to get anything of such. At the end of the day, we are going to issue them a mission notice that we used to be emitted in for the exam. But again, we want to call on all school authorities, the proprietors of schools, and so forth, so that they can be in full compliance. If you have not obtained your operational permit, there is still room for you. If you have not obtained your tax clearance, you still have time. By the end of February, if you cannot obtain these documents, or you cannot regularize your status, the national exam will be administered at the end of March. It is possible that the students will not be writing these exams. Thank you very much.
Okay, so from the Ministry of Education point, I want to say to all of our citizens in this country, to be responsible is to pay your tax, to be in compliance with government policy. Because it is only government that is next to God. When you are not submissive to government, you are a rebel. And when you are a rebel, you are against God. And when you are against God, you go to hell. So there's no need you exist. So we all need to wake up with that zeal and that anxiety to pay our taxes and renew our operational permit. And to all of our parents, any school you go to, please ask that school whether they have their recent or active or renew operational permit. Don't register your child in a school that does not have the renewal of their operational permit or recent operational permit. If you do so, your school will not participate in wax or Y. We want you to be responsible. So to all our responsible citizens, please learn to be in compliance and pay your taxes.
Okay, from the LRA, first, Varflay, I want to say a huge thank you for the opportunity, and to the listening public out there. I want to use this time to encourage school operators and administrators to come forward, engage us. Remember, nobody lives in isolation. The money you pay today, government is the largest employer, right? Government will infuse that money back into the economy, and we all know the dependency rate here in this country is so high. Once we have one reality that is working, that very same money comes back out through some form of help. And just remember, the payment of taxes is your civil responsibility. You give us that money, pay your taxes, we all enjoy. The school administrator, these amounts that you're supposed to withhold, is not even your money. You are just a withholder. So I really don't understand why somebody will not want to execute that thing. It is not your money. Just, you are the withholder. Just take that money from somebody's salary and give it to government. If you think you're having problem with your teachers and maybe they have not understood the process, call us. We'll come there and have one-on-one meeting with your teachers and give them the reason why you should withhold. And anytime our offices are open on the ground floor of the LRA, come. If there are any further clarity you need, please come. Our offices are always open, and we are waiting, to give you that helping hand to make sure you not to serve as a hindrance to your process with wires. Come forth, come. And on the 20th of February, we will be out there, carrying on joint enforcement. Do not wait until your pins are cut down. Please come forward. It is about time now that we can sit and discuss. By the 20th, you will not be given that option. Now we'll be enforcing. Please come forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, he's Commissioner Commissioner Eddie Howe. He is from the Liberia Revenue Authority. You also listen to Maxim Blinton from the Ministry of Education, and also Mr. Diok Boto, the head of WAEC Liberia. My name is Varflay Kamara. I will be speaking, extending the Super Morning Show up to 10:30.